students, welcome back to our class. Today in this class we have to discuss about the most important 4-mark questions from era of Gandhi and national movement. Okay, let's discuss. The first question is, discuss the initial protest of Gandhiji in India. Answer is, as per the instruction of Guru Gokhale, Gandhi toured entire India in a third-class railway compartment to understand real India of his time, and he established Sabarmati Ashrama at Ahmedabad in the year 1916. Then he understood problems of farmers, Dalits, tribal people, workers, laborers and others. Then he started Champaran movement in the year 1917 in support of indigo growers. Then he made British government accept the demands of farmers. Even Gandhi started a movement in support of the mill workers of Ahmedabad. Then the protest held in Kheda village of Gujarat to oppose land taxes. Then Gandhi started using truth, non-violence and satyagraha ideas in all these movements. Then he also started interacting with the common people. Then he used to express his thoughts in periodicals like Young India and Harijan. These all the points you have to write. Next question is, discuss about the meaningful achievements of Gandhiji's struggle. Otherwise, what were the internal tools of Gandhiji's struggles? Like this question will ask. Answer is Satyagraha. It is one of the major methods of protest of Gandhiji. Then Satyagraha means the assertion of the truth. It is his moral weapon. It is based on non-violence. Second one is Ahimsa. It is basic trait of Gandhiji's struggle. Then he believed that one should face violence with Ahimsa and Satyagraha. Then he employed motherly strategies such as Ahimsa, Satyagraha and fasting against brutal force of British. Then third one is unity of Hindu and Muslims. Gandhi always championed the unity of Hindu and Muslim during freedom struggle. He believed that without unity it is difficult to achieve independence. So he believed that Hindus and Muslims are the two eyes of the Mother India. Another important question is, Rowlatt Act of British intensified the freedom struggle in India. Substantiate. Answer is, the Rowlatt Act was implemented in 1919. Through this act, British started controlling the nationalists. Later, the British had power to arrest a man and declare him as offender. Then this act snatched the rights of the people to assemble for meeting. So this act also controls the establishment of organizations. Even it regulates the free right of expression of people. Then Gandhi formed association called Satyagraha Sabha to oppose this act. Then the Jallianwala Bagh massacre became. In this incident, killed around 380 protesters and thousands were injured. Later, this incident saddened Gandhi and others. So you have to note this all the points and practice well. Next question is, Jallianwala Bagh massacre became the reason for the launch of non-cooperation movement by Gandhi. Justify. Otherwise, mention the reasons for Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Answer is implementation of Rowlatt Act by British. Through this act, British started to controlling the nationalists. Gandhi started an association called Satyagraha Sabha to oppose this act. Later, the British decided to suppress the agitations against Rowlatt Act. Later, Gandhi called for one-day hurtal. Then Dr. Fakhruddin and Dr. Satyapal and various leaders were arrested in Punjab. To protest this all the arrest, the people had assembled in Jallianwala Bagh on the day of Baisakhi festival. Later, the military general of Amritsar, General Daya, fired at the peacefully assembled the people. Next, killed around 380 protesters. Thousands were injured. Later, military rule was implemented in Punjab. These are the reasons for the launch of non-cooperation movement by Gandhi. These are all the points you have to note and practice. Next question is, list out the programs of non-cooperation movement. Otherwise, this type also question will come. What were the main programs of non-cooperation movement? Answer is boycotting schools, colleges and courts, then boycotting elections to regional legislative bodies held according of 1919 Act, then returning all the honors and medals given by the British government, then nominated members of local bodies resigning from their membership and boycotting all the government functions, then boycotting all foreign goods, encouraging the activities of handlooms and the production of khadi. Then it also wanted to open national schools, achieving unity among Muslims and Hindus, then eradicating untouchability and uplifting the women by empowering them. These all the main programs of non-cooperation movement you have to practice. Let's see another important question. List out the major developments that took place during non-cooperation movement. Answer is many senior lawyers like Deshbandhu, Chittaranjan Das, Motilal Nehru, Rajendra Prasad, they all left their legal practice. Later, students boycotted schools and colleges. Then, Congress boycotted the elections for regional bodies which were held under the 1919 Act by not naming any candidates for the elections. Then many national institutions like Kashi, then Gujarat, Bihar and Jamia Millia Islamia Rashtriya Vidyapeethas were established. Then Rabindranath Tagore also retained his Knighthood Award. Later common people and women donated liberally to Congress. Then shops selling foreign goods were boycotted. Then foreign clothes were burned and the visit of Prince of Wales in 1921 was opposed. Next question is, what are the impacts of non-cooperation movement on Indian freedom movement? Otherwise, this type also question will come. Non-cooperation movement is the most important movement among all national movement. Substantiate. Answer is, though many of its main aims remained unachieved, it created some deep impacts. The freedom movement became people's movement. Then the Congress-led movement took some revolutionary turns. Then the Hindu-Muslim unity was temporarily achieved. Then the national freedom movement went beyond the boundaries of cities and also entered villages also. Then the attempts to remove untouchability, then entry of women into public spaces were notable achievements of this movement. Next question is, mention the reasons for the beginning of the civil disobedience movement. Answer is, the British government appointed Simon Commission in the year 1927. Later, the commission was supposed to study the effects of Indian Government Act 1919. Then it arrived in India on February 3rd, 1928. Later, the commission witnessed wide protest with the slogan "Simon Go Back." Even buns and hurtals were organized in different places. Then Lal Lajpat Rai died when British were lathi charged in Lahore. Then this challenge was accepted by a committee headed by Motilal Nehru. Then the Nehru report advocated for dominion status for India. Then in a Lahore Congress convention adopted a resolution demanding Purna Swaraj. Then this convention authorized Gandhi to hold civil disobedience protest marches. Next question is, write about Dandi March or list out the main events of Salt Satyagraha declared by Gandhi. Otherwise, discuss about Salt Satyagraha, like this type of question will ask. Answer is, in 1930, the Congress committee met at Sabarmati Ashram. It passed a resolution to hold civil disobedience under the leadership of Gandhi. Then Gandhi wrote a letter to the Viceroy demanding 11 points. If government not accept this demand, people decide to reject paying tax. Then, as the Viceroy rejected the letter, Gandhi declared for Dandi March. Later, Gandhi covered totally 375 kilometers on foot and reached Dandi. Then he broke the law by holding a feast full salt without paying the tax, then which the British had levied on salt. Then Charaka, the spinning wheel, became more famous during this time. After that, thousands of people participated in a Salt Satyagraha. Let's see, another important question is, what was the outcome of second round table conference? Answer is, Ambedkar pressed for a separate electoral constituency for untouchables, but this was opposed by Gandhi. This resulted in the ideological differences between them. So the second round table conference ended without any conclusion. British government announced to provide separate electoral constituency for the untouchables. Later it implemented communal award in the year 1932. Then Gandhi opposed this. He started fasting unto death. Then as a result Pune Pact was entered. According to this pact, few constituencies were reserved for untouchables. Next question is, what were the reasons for Quit India movement? This question is very important. The first point is, the Stafford Cripps Commission proposed some suggestions in front of Indians. Proposals like, according to Dominion status to India, calling a meeting to draft new constitution were tabled. It was just proposed that all states will have liberty to be part of the new federation or not. Then these proposals were strongly opposed by the Congress. Congress called for Quit India movement. Then the Quit India movement declared British you quit India, and Gandhi gave call to Indians to do or die. Then as a result, leaders like Gandhi and other Congress leaders were arrested and imprisoned. Let's see, another important question is, what was the role of Jayaprakash Narayan in Indian freedom struggle? Otherwise this type also question will ask. Quit India movement created a new leaders to Indian freedom movement. Justify. Answer is, Jayaprakash Narayan provided leadership to this movement. He was a leader of socialist wing of Congress. He along with his supporters engaged in a revolutionary works. Later, they brought out document the freedom struggle front, and they trained factory workers. Even they called support of common people. Then they collected money also, and they provided hope to India in its difficult times. Even efforts were made outside the border of India. These all the important points you have to note and practice. Let's see another important question. The protests organized by the farmers and workers are equally important in the history of national freedom struggle. Discuss. Otherwise, how the farmers revolt became the part of Indian national movement, or else explain how the workers revolt against the British government. Like these questions will come. For this all the questions answer is same. You have to practice farmers movement and workers movement. These all the points you have to note and practice. Farmers movement. Many farmers rebelled against British planters and zamindars. They opposed indigo cropping in Champaran district. They protest against land tax. Then Indian National Congress tried to organize farmers movement as a part of national freedom struggle. Even Gandhiji's influence was visible in activities in Champaranya, then Kheda and other places. Then farmers organized themselves and protested. Farmers protest in Tebhaga, then Malabar and other places. The farmers found themselves intermingled with the problems, focused on in movements like non-cooperation movement, tax refusal and Quit India movements. Then many protests organized under the banner of Kisan Sabha. Even in Telangana, farmers also protested against the zamindars and Nizam's razaks. Then the farmers of Bengal protested against the zamindars. Even in Maharashtra also farmers protested against the low wages for them. Workers movement, workers revolt started in Calcutta. The workers of jute and cotton mills organizing themselves. Even railway workers also organizing themselves. Railway workers held protest railway stations. They raised slogans against the British officers. The Printers Union in Calcutta and cotton mill workers of Bombay created national awareness. A labor union was founded in Madras. Many workers associations started. Exam ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಸ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ವರ್ಕರ್ಸ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ನೇ ಸೆಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವರ್ಕರ್ಸ್ ಎರಡು ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಸೇರಿಸಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ನ ನೀವು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರಿಪೀಟೆಡ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್. Next question is, explain the various tribal revolts in history of independence struggle. Otherwise question will ask like this also. The tax and forest policies implemented during British administration were the reasons for tribal revolts. Substantiate. Otherwise The revolt of Santala tribe is considered as an important revolt in India. Justify. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ರೀತಿನೂ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. How the Santala revolt became an inspiration for many revolts in the future. For this all the question answer is same. Let's see. The first point is the tax and forest policies implemented during the British administration were the reasons for the tribal revolts. Among them, revolts of Santala, Kola and Munda are very important. Halagali Peda's revolt of Karnataka is also another notable revolt. The revolt of Santala is considered as an important revolt in India. The people of Santala tribe is present in the hilly areas of Bengal and Odisha states. With the implementation of permanent zamindari systems, these people became landless. Then zamindars, moneylenders and the company government became exploiters of Santala tribe. Later, their peace-loving nature and civilized were exploited by the government. So, the upset Santala met secretly and decided to loot the zamindars and moneylenders. So, the revolt was severe in Bhatpur, Barahat and also Rajmahal areas. Then the tribal people killed their enemies. So, the frightened moneylenders and zamindars fled from these areas. Though the revolt of Santalas came to an end, later it became an inspiration for many revolts in the future. Next, another important question is explain the achievements of Subhash Chandra Bose in the independence movement. He had secured 4th rank in the Indian Civil Services exam. He refused posting and became part of national freedom struggle. Then he became popular as a Netaji. He engaged himself in organizing Indians residing outside India. Even he toured many cities like Vienna, Berlin, Rome and Istanbul, rallied Indians settled in these places in favor of freedom struggle. He became the president of Haripur Convention of Indian National Congress with the support of Gandhi. And a difference of opinion broke between Bose and Gandhiji. Then he objected Gandhiji's failure to seek foreign help in the matter. Later, he quit Congress and founded Forward Bloc. He opposed British war preparation and participation of British India in the war. As a result, British arrested and put him under the house arrest with the aim of mobilizing anti-British forces to fight against British. He escaped from the house arrest and reached to Germany. Then the dictator of Germany agreed to extend all the help to Bose. Then Bose organized the prisoners of war from India. Even he broadcasted his speeches over Azad Hind radio to all the Indians. On learning about success of Japan in the war, Bose joined hands with the Raj Bihari Bose to explore possibility of seeking help of Japan to liberate India. Then he was calling its military wing as Indian National Army. Bose called for Delhi Chalo on this occasion. He said, "Give me your blood, I will get you Indian independence." Then Bose had planned to attack India through Rangoon. By that time, thousands of soldiers who had joined INA were ready to occupy Delhi. Then they started their armed struggle on the Burma border. Later, when there was a fierce battle between INA and the British Army, then Subhash Chandra Bose died in an aeroplane crash. Another important question is explain the achievements of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Otherwise, this type also question will ask. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had believed strongly that political freedom without social freedom is meaningless. Why? Answer is he introduced the concept of India not only as a political entity but a whole system. Then he studied the caste system and devised strategies to destroy it, even in order to prove that the untouchables have been denied even basic human rights. So he organized Mahatyank and Kalaram temple movements. Then he participated in all the 3 round table conferences. Even he demanded for separate electoral constituencies for untouchables. Then he was a Diwan to Baroda Maharaja. Even he was a member of Bombay Legislative Council and also member of Viceroy's Legislative Council. Then he never joined the Indian National Congress. Even he founded Bahishkrut Hitakarini Sabha and Swatantra Karmika Party. Later, he published periodicals like Prabuddha Bharata and Janata, even Mukanayaka and also Bahishkrut Bharata. Then he always stayed away from communist and sociological ideologies and he strived to get justice for farm laborers. Then Ambedkar was elected as the chairman of the drafting committee. Then he advocated equality in the constitution. Even he provided legal guarantees against untouchability in the constitution and he became the first law minister of independent India. Later, the government of India has honored Dr. B.R. Ambedkar for his lifetime achievement by awarding the highest civilian honor Bharat Ratna posthumously. Let's say another important question is, explain the major achievements of Nehru as the first Prime Minister of India. Answer is, as the Prime Minister of India, he can be seen as the architect of industrialization and modern India. Nehru became instrumental in the integration of India. He also laid foundation for the diverse culture of India by implementing language-based reorganization of states policy. Later, he believed that only complete industrialization can bring development and he sought to develop India through 5-year plans. He sought to develop infrastructure and heavy industries through 5-year plans. He laid the foundation for atomic energy under the leadership of H.J. Baba. Then he advocated non-aligned movement. Then he was instrumental in staying away from power politics by adhering to Panchashila principles. Next question, explain the achievements of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Muhammad Ali Jinnah joined Indian National Congress in the year 1906. He worked as the private secretary to the Dadabhai Nauroji. He argued in favor of Tilak in the litigations against him. Then he joined Home Rule League and he argued in the favor Hindu and Muslims unity and he resigned from his membership of Central Advisory Committee opposing implementation Rowlatt Act. Later, he declared himself as a nationalist Muslims in roundtable conferences and he changed his strategies when Muslims League and Congress failed to form a coalition government. Then he increased his pressure for the creation of independent Pakistan. Later, he was successful in creating Pakistan during the Declaration of Independence. Next question is, explain the partition of India. Answer is, the Indian National Congress had a vision of free, independent, united India, but Jinnah kept putting pressure for an independent Pakistan. So in the Lahore session of Muslims League, Jinnah declared that Hindus and Muslims cannot make one nation. So the Labour Party came to power in England after the end of Second World War. Later, it tried to find solutions for the political problems of India. Later, it sent a cabinet committee to have discussion on giving self-rule rights to India. Then, it recommended for a federal form of government and also suggested to form an interim government. Later, it also suggested the formation of Constituent Assembly to formulate constitution, but there are differences over the formation of coalition interim government between Indian National Congress and Muslims League. Then the Muslims League called for direct action day and Muslims League did not participate in the Constituent Assembly. Even the British were also interested in creating division between Hindus and Muslims. So the situations created in these occasions had seeded the partition ideas. Then British government sent Lord Mountbatten as Viceroy to India, telling that wanted to hasten process of handing over of the power. So Mountbatten held discussions with Gandhi, Jinnah and other leaders to prepare a plan for partition of India. So in July of 1947, the Bill of India Independence took the shape of an act. So on August 15, 1947, two new nations, India and Pakistan, were born. Next question is, write a note on Khilafat movement. Answer is, The sultans of Turkey were also the religious leaders of Turkey and were called as caliph. Then during the World War I, British harassed the caliphs. So this widely protested by Muslims of the world. Then in India, Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, two brothers, also started the Khilafat movement. Later, to support the Turkey people against the British in the year 1919, and Gandhi believed that the British would only withdraw if the Hindu and Muslims fight united. So he supported to this movement. He wanted an active participation on the part of Muslims in the Congress. So this was a movement wherein both Hindus and Muslims participated in a nationwide protest. Okay students, practice this all the important question and answers. We will continue our classes with the new questions. Till then, take care.